Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We are recording this so that you can view it later or share with others later, but we're going to go ahead and get started because we do honor your time. So for those of you who don't know us, I think everybody here knows us already, but just in case, I'm Sandra Naranjo.
I'm Kathleen Graham.
And we're your friendly neighborhood digital coaches. Always here, happy to help. So today we're here to introduce to you a program called PIQUE, and this is new to our district. And we were motivated by what we hear from you. Often we've been hearing from you recently that you don't have time to be at a training all day or for even 3 hours. So Kathleen and I thought about this, and we're pushing this program out to you, and we're glad you're here to learn about it. We hope we've piqued your interest, right? We must have, because you're here. So PIQUE stands for Personalized Innovative Quest for Unique Educators Like Yourself. This is a self-directed program, which means you have complete control over it. You choose what you want to learn, and you choose when you want to learn it, and you choose the different pathways and missions. So there are a few things that are labeled as required, but the only reason they're labeled as such is so that you can earn a badge that you could then add to your profile, your email signature, things like that. So again, there are several activities available here for you, and you get to choose which ones you want to learn about. So these are the topics available, and these are the badges that you can earn. Welcome to PIQUE is the very first one that you will have to complete to move on. And then from there, you can choose from any of these topics. You could do one of them, two of them, all of them. It really is truly up to you. There's digital citizenship. If you want to learn more about how to incorporate that in your classroom. You know, there's Go Far with Google Space. So there's familiar tools in there like Classroom and Slides and Docs, but there's also some other tools that you may not have explored yet, like Google Keep or drawings and more. And there's, of course, more with curriculum. So you'll see our textbook adoptions in there, and it'll show you how to use the tech portion of those textbooks, as well as different technological tools that you already have heard from us, such as Newsela, Pear Deck, Discovery Education, and more. And these are the badges you get to earn. So as you can see, there are so many. And again, you can add them to your email signature, your profiles. If you have LinkedIn, you can put it there. So there are so many that you can do.
And just to piggyback on that, you may see some things there that you're like, oh, that's not relevant to me. That is correct. For example, there's Study Sync, because that's for our 6 through 12 ELA. So that would not be required for you if you were in the primary grades. Paper is a tutoring program for our middle school and high school students. So obviously it wouldn't be relevant to elementary. So just know that just because it's a badge, I mean, you are welcome to earn it, but you may not have access to the resource because you're not at that level of school for that resource. But most of the resources are available for everyone in LUSD.
Correct, such as Loom.
Right.
And all the Google tools, of course. All right, do you want to pop in the link in the chat, Kathleen?
Sure.
There is a login link that Kathleen's going to put in the chat. If you click on it, it'll open up in another tab, so you can do that or open another window, completely up to you. And you want to make sure to sign in with Google, and you'll use your MyLUSD Google email address. Then you'll be taken to your profile page where you can select your school or your location. And the reason we ask you to do that is because this is where the gamification comes into action. We'll show you in a few moments. There's a dashboard where it shows how everybody kind of ranks in terms of how many points they have earned. So it breaks it down by each individual person as well as by school site, which is why we ask you to select your school site. So we'll leave that up there for a few more moments, and then we're going to show you what it looks like.
And once everyone's logged in, if you want to give us a thumbs up.
This is what the dashboard looks like. And as you can see, there have been some people that have already been active since this email went out yesterday with the link to go ahead and log in. So some people went ahead and they got started. So as you can see, we have the top weekly school section, and Washington is currently in the lead. So go Washington, and we see everybody else closely behind. Washington teachers cheering. And here we have the top schools. Again, Washington is there as well. So the top weekly schools is week-based. We're whereas the top schools is in the entire system or in PEAQUE. So Washington may be the top weekly school next week, but Keller might be the top school overall next week. Who knows, right? And as you can see, it shows the top weekly performers, and as this changes every week, as well as the top players. So this is kind of like the top schools. It will show it overall. So you have the weekly rankings and the overall rankings. And here you'll see the most recent points earned by teachers at our site. So once you're ready, you can hit the green button that says Play PEAQUE, and it will get you started. So you'll see yourself here, whatever image you decided to put. I decided to put my Bitmoji. It'll show how many points you have, your ranking. So far there are 27 staff members that have actively logged in. And 0 reviews, that means I have no work left for anyone to review. So I haven't submitted anything yet. And as you can see, the first level is PEAQUE. This is what we were explaining to you, that some of them say required. And those are the ones you need to do to earn the little badge. So you have different colors here. The green is the amount of points you've earned. So as you can see, I've earned 0 because I haven't done any yet. So as I complete things, that number in the green will increase. And then the purple shows me how many are required to complete this, this mission topic. And if you hover your cursor, you'll see what the badge looks like. So if I want to see what an activity looks like, I can click on it. It gives me a summary here of what I need to do. And then here's where I would put my submission to show, yes, I've completed this. So for this activity, I need to introduce myself and share what choice learning means to me. And once I type it out, I can click record achievement. And as you can see here, it shows me that 4 people in our district have already completed this 25-point assignment. And they estimate that it'll take about 10 minutes to complete, but I'm not sure it'll actually take that long. What do you think, Evelyn?
I don't think so.
No. Let's go back. So let's look at something you do know. So if you want to jump into Google, you can go into Google Docs, and as you can see, I click on the arrow to expand it. And again, the green is the points I have earned, and the purple are the points required to get the badge. So as you can see, there are a lot of activities available for Google Docs. So there are only 6 required ones. After that, I can choose which other ones I want, so long as I can get it to add to 225. So that is the minimum points. You are definitely welcome to go above the 225 points. And then you can get your little badge. And as you earn badges, they'll appear here in this latest level badge. All right.
Any questions?
So far? No, we're good. Now there are different types of evidence that you can submit. So one of them you saw, I can just take a screenshot. So like this one, it's asking me to upload a screenshot. And the previous one you saw, I can just type out my evidence or my work. Sometimes you'll be asked to upload a file, or if they ask you to create something like a Google slide deck, you would get the link from your slide deck and paste it on there. So there are different ways to show your learning, because again, it's customized to you. And again, you get to choose what you want to learn. Am I missing anything, Kathleen?
No, I think it's great. I think it's great.
So know that there are some things that get approved immediately. They'll be like, okay, check, you get the points, but there are some where it needs to get approved, which means someone is looking at your work. Don't worry about it. It's not like some random people. It's people from this program that will look at your work and be like, oh, okay, this meets the criteria, check. So know that if you don't see your points immediately, you will eventually see them.
And usually it's approved within 24 hours. And it is through the company that hosts the PD, not Sandra or I, because we don't have that kind of time to check all of your work for 700 teachers across the district.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, so I'll go to this slide because I know I can't show it because I haven't done any activity. These are the different ways to submit your work, so you'll know by the icon. So like in this one up here, you can upload an image or you can do a link. And you'll see these different icons. The little play button means it's ready for you to do the activity. If you submitted your evidence of completion, if you see this little clock, it means it hasn't been reviewed yet. And once it's been reviewed, you'll see a little check mark. And you will see this occasionally, not often, that it got paused. And the only reason that I have seen that work gets paused is because maybe your link didn't work, or if it asked you for 3 sentences, you just wrote 1 sentence. So there's always a reason that it's paused, and it'll be something silly. You're like, oh, whoops, I just did that wrong. And you can just quickly go fix it, and then they'll change it back to a little clock and eventually the check mark.
And know that if you submit something on a Friday, it's business day, so it's not going to get reviewed over the weekend. It'll get reviewed on Monday.
All right. I guess we can give you time to explore.
Yeah, take a few minutes to get into a Ludo if you haven't already, and kind of poke around and look at some of the things that might interest you. And know that, Sonia, could you show the Ludo page again?
Sure.
Know that you don't have to get each badge, but each one of these, you can go ahead and expand that in. For example, this one, you can get your, we are requiring that you get your Clever and your Go Guardian badge and your Promethean board badge. But then you would have separate badges for all of those, but then you can get the main badge, which is Tackle the Teacher Toolkit badge, so that you can, you'll get smaller badges for the little activities inside, but then once you complete those, I think it's 1,375 for that whole section, you'll get the Tackle the Teacher Toolbox badge as well. So there's badges within the badges. Does that make sense? And yes, this will be recorded. It is being recorded right now.
So go ahead and explore. We're here for another 5 minutes. If you have other questions, you can ask now, or you can email us, and we are happy to answer them. So as you can see, so many different things you can choose. And again, this is all based on what you want to learn.
And tools we have here in Linwood. We didn't put any things in here that we don't have access to. Currently, this is available for, we have a year license. So since we're just starting in March, that would be until next February. And if, again, as with all tools in Linwood, if teachers are using it, then we can justify continuing to extend the license. If no teachers are using it, we have to give it some serious thought as to whether we want to continue. And we do want to continue because this gives teachers that opportunity to do their self-paced learning what they want to learn. Something they may have seen, they're like, oh, I saw one of our coaches in the Innovation Center using Blookit. I'd love to learn how to use it. Then you could get a Blookit badge. So there's different activities. You want to learn more about screencasting, so you could get your Loom badge. You've seen people use QR codes, and you're like, how do I do that? There's a badge for that. So there's all kinds of different activities. We try to, kind of give a good collection for everyone. And then under that miscellaneous instructional tools, there's some other learning about PDFs. There's even some things about emojis and Bitmojis. So there's different things you can do. Does anyone have any questions? Are you all exploring? You see, we even have your DocCam and your HP Elite book in there as well, if you want to learn more about them.
All right, as we mentioned, we really want to honor your time. So you're welcome to continue to explore. You're welcome to ask questions, or as always, you can email us if you have questions.
Otherwise, you're welcome to move on with your day, your afternoon.
Thanks for joining us.